All right, I've got a real life example of a growth moment. I don't know how normal this is for people. It's probably more normal than I think for a lot of people. A lot of times we hold in ourselves these ideas that, oh my gosh, I'm horrible. And we keep things inside of us without realizing we're very similar in many respects. We're a lot that way. So anyway, this is just an example actually of a process that I think that has to be employed as you're moving along. And people know it, but I'm gonna list a real life example of it. So like an hour ago, my wife and I were in our bedroom and my dog was out in the backyard, and the dog, went to the bathroom, and my wife pointed down below the window and said it was right down there. And I glanced around, and it's winter time, so there's patches of snow and brown grass and leaves and things. And I didn't see it right away. And I just said, oh yeah, I don't see it. No big deal. And she said, well, if you look long enough, you'll see it. And at least that's how I heard it. And for some reason that triggered me. I was like, what the hell does it even matter? I need to stand here and look till I see that poop. That's how I took it right off the bat. Boom. You just go right to it. And you catch that. And you tell yourself, don't do that. But here's what I ran into over time. What's important to ask yourself first is, why do I automatically do that to begin with? Why is that my go-to? Why, when she said something like that, did I choose to take it in such a way that affected me in that way? I was triggered, and how did I feel? I felt like I was being somewhat degraded at that moment, and boom, that tells me what happens. I go back to childhood and I realize I still have things inside of me that I hold that are automatic responses that I catch. And it's important to observe them. It's important to not have things like that happen and then talk to people and go, gosh, she did this and that and blah, blah, blah. That's not productive. What's productive is to say, what's my problem? Why did I trigger like that? What am I holding that created in me the need to act out like that? Those are the things that I must search when I'm looking for what is inside of me. But that's how you observe them. How when our fruits are visible, we can observe them. It's kind of like, oh, there's a fruit right there. That just happened. Stop. Follow it in, like you're climbing down the trunk, coming down the tree, going to the root. Where does that come from? Where does it originate? Expose it, look at it, and go, I see where that came from. Yeah, I need to rethink that and feel better about it. Find a way to be okay with it and you'll heal. But that's a part of the process. And the poop thing, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. It's nothing. You look at it and go, well, that was pretty stupid. It really is. It's triggering something that is up here. The poop is not the issue. The issue is something up here. And these things are going to happen in our lives whether we attract them or not. There's billions of people with billions and trillions of issues. You're gonna get triggered. It's gonna happen. But that's how the growth happens. You catch it. You realize I am carrying something that is causing my action, that this experience I'm having right now is based on what I have named and something that I have classified at some point in time in my life that I've put away. And in order to change this flow of my life, I must change the way whatever is in the hub, as Lao Tzu would say, this something that comes around and around. And what you look at it and you realize it's not about the poop. What is it? How did you feel at the moment it happened? I felt degraded. I felt like I was not doing well enough. Boom, I know where that comes from. Okay, so if we take the teachings that we've just covered and the Lao Tzu ones that I just mentioned, how naming is the origin of all things. At some point in time in our life, we had a situation happen or continue to happen that we continued to emotionally engage with in a particular way. And we put it away like that. We named it at that time. In Jesus' teaching, he would say, don't judge. With the judgment you judge, you will get judged back again. We're seeing a cyclical repeating of something that is based on the way we're storing something inside of us. Let's be clear here, though. Look at it. It is an emotional situation that is repeating. It is not somebody treating you in a certain way or the physical action. It is the way that you experience it. It is the way that you feel it. So if I'm feeling degraded and demeaned, I'm going to feel degraded and demeaned about a lot of different things. It's the degrading and demeaning that is the issue. That's what you look at. It is the way that you felt, the way that you see it, the way you examine it. It's emotion-based. Okay, it's very easy to see it, but it can be very hard to catch it. Seeing it is simply this. You ask yourself, how did that person make me feel? Honey, you degraded and you belittled me. You made me feel demeaned. That's it right there. Take those and turn inward with them. They become component parts of who and what you are, just like in the other teachings. The other part, though, is ego. You have to be able to make that turn where you're thinking, the reason I feel this way is because that person just degraded me. As long as you're thinking that way, you're not ready to figure it out yet. That person is going to keep degrading you. When you do figure it out, you will realize that what you're holding is allowing that experience to unfold, and the way that you hold it and where it comes from. And if it isn't this person in your life triggering it, it'll be somebody else. You will bring it with you. That is your karma. That is your Tao. That is the way you flow in life based on what is in your hub. That is how you've judged things. Yeah, you get it. When you get to a point where you realize I am the person being triggered, what you must do then is, honestly, the easiest thing to realize is that you have a memory of something that happened and the way that you feel about it. And the way that you feel about it, the way that you emotionally feel about it, that is what continues to play out. So when you name something to give it its life, as Lao Tzu would say, or judge something as Jesus would say, to create what continually comes back, this is that moment right here. This is what we're judging. This is the part we have to change our judgment of, or unname it, unjudge it. That the very quality of the emotional state of this judgment is what creates the quality of our life. This is the point of origin right here. This is what we have to manipulate. This is all we can control, the way we perceive the things that we hold inside of us, which then dictates a change in the course of our life, in compliance with the quality of those changes. So by default, the way our life is unfolding is because of what we're holding inside of us. We have to stop if we don't like what's going on and turn inward. That's why it's important to forgive and to change the feeling. And it's not because somebody hurt you and did something. It's because you're holding this and it is now a part of you, and your life is going to continue to experience that. That you holding it in the way that you are holding it is creating the emotional state that is going to cause that emotion to continue to be a part of your life. That is why you must change the emotional state. That's why the forgiveness happens. It's about you and about your life and the quality of your life and the quality of the life of the people that are with you. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to share that as a part of how I think that this was all meant to be used by us. And we're very busy these days. We kind of maybe lost sight of this, but it looks like it makes sense to me. If you look at it, what is it? It's like being your own psychologist and being all the parts. And that's difficult because you have to be objective. You have to be humble. Yeah. And we're told to keep that stuff inside and tough it out. But actually it surfaces like this. And when you see it, you go, ooh, that's a weed in my garden. I got to pull that out, because then it will stop coming. It'll just make it stop. It'll change it. If it doesn't change it, then keep working at it. Sometimes they're very tough. Sometimes they're a part of our core wiring. They're not just an event or a situation, but they're a lifetime. Those are tough. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I think people can look at that as an experience for yourself. Hope it was helpful. See ya.